Good evening, everybody. How you doing? Happy Sunday. Once again, my name is Kanya Langa. I am the founder of Off Topic, and I am currently talking to you about our Off Topic business consulting services. So, Off Topic wants to help companies to basically reignite the passion and the power and the 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 the, the, the the mindsets of the human beings in their workplaces and workspaces, because we've seen a lot of detriment into the in the mental state of human beings in the workplace due to very long working hours, just not being able to make anybody happy in the workplace, to their work being undermined, to their dignity being completely dissolved by those who are called the leaders, but I guess they are those who are bosses in the workplace. If they don't have feelings for you per se, they may treat you anyhow and not be held accountable because um, they just say it's been like that forever. And so, you know, a lot of people say it is what it is. And Off Topic wants to come in and help businesses and other human people in these workplaces because we've noticed that even though we have called it, it is what it is. The human conditions, the human basic working conditions have deteriorated way further than they used to be. There are people who are getting divorced because they don't have time for their wives or husband or children because they are constantly working to an unending and unsatisfiable working condition, working targets, and employment state, because it appears to me that there's a set framework, a set mindset, a set mental capacity that is required in the workplaces, in the governments, in all these spaces that is required. If you come in and let's say, for example, you are a solutions provider, but that's just how you are, you're a problem solver. The workplace can choose to spit you out however it feels like, even if you do complete your work, just because you make them uncomfortable and they don't like you. They seem like they are above the law and they are able to do whatever they please. So a lot of people are stuck in workplaces not even expressing their best because they just want to do the bare minimum and get a salary at the end of the day because they have children to pay for, and they have bills to pay. We're paying 1,000 rand for electricity before we can even upload electricity now. Like, is it for water? We're paying municipality for water, and then we're paying another water bill that I don't even want to talk about. I'm venting. Don't mind me. So yeah. So I've got this way of solving problems that I learned in university. My financial accounting lecturer, Belinda, Breitenbach, I think. Belinda, she's the one that taught me IPAC. You need to find out what the issue is, the principles involved, the application of the principles, and the conclusion. So the issue here is that employees have been treated completely horribly by corporations and the government workspace. I haven't heard a lot of employee sort of like complaints. I just know that most of them could be silenced by corruption because if they raise anything, they could be killed, or they could be silenced pretty much. Remember what happened to Makaka. We're not going to go into politics, but so a lot of people are just being silenced. And so in any kingdom, animal kingdom, ecosystem, since every time you talk about MDS, you're seen as a bad person because if you mention MDS, TikTok will ban your video. Everybody's going to be like, how dare you? How could you? How could you mention that? It's not even happening. It's in your head, So what happens is that we can't mention it because we need to act like we cannot see it. That people are completely shoved into workplaces like pigs and dogs. Okay, maybe not the dogs in suburbs, like maybe the other dogs, like maybe stray dogs, greyhounds, and dogs that eat tin fish, the ones that have like that flaky fur. that look unhealthy, and it's usually by the bum area, that flaky fur. Okay, so what happens is that, oh God, I hope this is legal. What happens is that human beings are being so dehumanized in the workplace and the workspaces, and it is deemed to be normal because they signed an employment contract. So in South Africa, last week we spoke about the ethics, which is the morality, the code of professional conduct, and the reputation of a company that the company should be wishing to uphold so that it continues to have favor in the public, right? We talked about different companies like Nike can say something ridiculous and still have favor because people like the drama effects of what their shoes have. But when you have a professional company like Mediclinic, like a company for accounting professionals, and all these, like for example, also retail companies like Mr. Price, Ackermans, and all of these other places, there's a certain way humanity should be treated, and we're trying to understand, okay, employees are bound by the employment contract which they sign, which allows them to have a salary because they signed for whatever salary, have salary increments sometimes at the discretion of management. So if management has just a slight negative feeling about this employee, they might not get a bonus, they might not get a raise for years. Unless it's in the employment contract, they might be stuck in one place for so many years, scared to leave because you know what? They need to feed their families. And if they leave, they might not get a job because guess what? South Africa is overcrowded by a lot of unassigned employable people. Yes, because most of them are educated, but they're not assigned to jobs yet. So what happens is that Off Topic wants to help companies to find out what's happening when it comes to the legal obligations of a company in terms of the employment relations. We cannot say that we are currently going through MDS because it seems to be illegal, or it seems to, raise flags and everybody gets upset. So if that's not the case, I know that employers can dismiss someone if they don't like them. They can dismiss someone if they feel like you're not up to scratch, you're not up to par according to their policies and principles. They can they don't even call human beings by name. Human beings are resources. They're just a number. So each and everybody is replaceable. And that's what employees have signed in their employment contracts, which are governed by the Basic Conditions of Employment Act, the Labor Relations Act, Employment Equity and Occupational Health and Safety Acts. I will speak about those as we continue with the series. So all these acts are sort of included in the employment contract, but if the employer says that I'm not going to pay you for overtime, which is supposed to be at least 10 hours a week, if you do 60 hours of overtime a week and you signed a contract that says that you're not going to be paid for it, that's what you're going to get, And so my question is, who is assessing if the conditions, the working conditions that people are under are actually really not dehumanizing people? These working conditions, even though they signed for it because they need jobs and they need these occupations, are people really being treated with human dignity as human beings? Are they able to survive this earth? Or is this earth a place that has become so horrible for them to exist just to be able to pay the bills? And if that's the case, what are we supposed to do? Because 50% of their taxes go to the government, and the government chooses whatever they want to do. 600 million can come out at any time to serve other nationalities, because government will never fix our problems until it's too late, and those monies will come from the humans again. So my question is, what are we doing to make sure that the regulations that are in place to take care of the humanity of employees in the workplaces are adhered to by companies? Off Topic wants to offer these services to come into companies to assess if the companies are still operating within the regulations. They are complying with the laws and regulations and the standards of human basic conditions practices. And so if there are some lags and some gaps in between, we need to find out why there are those gaps, what can we do about those gaps, and to try and fix this problem. Or I think the world needs to be really open about MDS. We need to call a spade a spade. If you guys are trying to put apartheid back again, please make it clear so we can make plans to be shipped off this place. Actually, where would we go? This is our home. We're not going anywhere. So we need to make plans though, because you don't try and true pass people and train them into deep slavery mentality of working for long hours, not having a break, never being good enough, and not even like getting the financial compensation. Because if you are not liked as a person, do you know that companies can refuse for you to get paid a bonus? Some people haven't seen a bonus in 5 years because guess what? You're just not meeting other people's feeling needs. How are we going to make sure that people are being taken care of in these companies? We just want to be able to do that. So allow us to come into companies to assess if the ethics of a company are being complied with, the laws are being applied, the laws and regulations are being complied with, and we're going to come to the financial reporting side. And all these things are going to be done by Off Topic independently, so that we give you a report and show you where the lags are. And if you are willing to fix it, you fix it. If you think that your employees need further training, we can also suggest the types of training that they can get, and also hire other people who would be able to do those trainings better than we could, if that's the case. So yeah, let's hold employers accountable for our human people, our human capital. And if we cannot do that, we need to be clear if we are currently going through MDS, or, everything's fine and everybody should just lay back and wait for Jesus. You let us know. We're willing to help you. Thank you.